Giving a test to the audio, seeing how everything is working. Giving a test to the audio, seeing how everything is working. Okay, there we go. Now the echo should vanish. That just happens during the test. Welcome everybody out tonight. How is everybody doing? We will get started very shortly. Sorry, I'm just a minute or two late, but we will get right on to it. Okay, so today, depending on what happens, is usually a Q&A night or a community night on Sundays where we just kind of ask questions and I give some feedback. Things like that. If Rich is here today, I think we're going to do a Skype chat if he is around. But if not, we'll just have our usual Q&A. Hey, Matt. Hashtag we lit. You a vapor? All right, so let's see here. You just reminded me of, I don't know if you watch H3H3, but he has a video on Vape Nation, and there's like a spot where he's doing a stupid pose and says, like hashtag so lit or something like that. All right, so we'll get started on with the normal stuff. Hello, Hope Hack Trim, back again, I see. All right. So if anybody has any questions about anything they want me to go over, anything they've seen in a video, or maybe haven't seen in a video, or maybe a suggestion of a video you like, the floor is open for that, of course. And if not, we will do maybe a little bit of practice here on Staff Pad. He danged one of my faves. So you watch Hopeback Trim, you watch H3 as well? Yeah, H3 is probably at the moment one of my favorite YouTubers. Okay, Matt asks, hello Matt, by the way, do we use same notation for chord progressions in major and minor key? I just don't get that. Same notation for chord progressions. No. So here's the deal. Let me get this out for you. This is a great question. Matt Haas. Yeah, I agree. If anybody doesn't know it, Matt Haas is suing H3H3. Let's see, March 5th, Q&A. It's funny because if you go to Matt Haas's channel and look at any of his videos in the comments, it's really hilarious because everybody is just like, oh, stop making videos, kill yourself, and all these other things. And, some of the comments go too far. Obviously, you don't need to tell him to kill himself, but it is kind of funny. All right, so let's see here. Do we use the same notation for chord progression? So yeah, let me get to this question here. So say I'm in a major key. All major keys, or major chords rather, have a capital Roman numeral, right, to signify that it's major. So if I was writing C major here, I would write out a capital 1 there. That means that it's the first chord on the first note of the scale. So you may know that already. Now, here we go. So in major, let me write out a C major chord real quick, or C major scale. There we go. So I'm going to build chords on each note of the scale. Oops. So while I'm doing this, if anybody, while you're thinking about it, if you've just checked in with us, think of any questions you may have for me today. And it's just a general Q&A here with the community, just so I can get in touch with you, see what questions you may have, see what lessons you might want. So feel free to leave those in the live stream comments. I would love to hear them. Oops. Okay, so here are the 8 chords in the C major scale. You have C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A major, the 7th one, B diminished, and then C major. So remember that in a major scale, the pattern of major and minor chords is this. It's major, and then the next two are minor. So 2 and 3 are minor, 4 and 5 are major, 6 is minor, 7 is diminished, and 8, or back to 1 again, is major. That's the same for every major scale. However, if it's minor, let's see what it does. So let's change this baby to C minor. Get rid of these accidentals. Okay, so now, keep in mind that we have 3 flats, B, E, and A now. First chord is now minor, and it's signified with a lowercase 1, Roman numeral 1. 2 is now diminished since we have the A flat above. And this is the same for every minor scale. So, and it just happens to be wherever the notes of the key signature fall, just make sure if one of those notes of the chord is in the key signature, that it's sharped or flat accordingly. And then the next one, 3 is actually major in a minor key. Like I said, this is the same with all minor keys. 4 is minor. 5 is also minor. 6 is actually major. So a lot of them are flipped from what they were before, except the exception being 2 went from minor to diminished. And then we have what's called a subtonic chord, which is built on the 7th note of the scale. It would help if I write 7 correctly. I don't know what's wrong with me right now. And then back to 1 there. So it's the next to last chord is a subtonic chord because normally the 7th chord is a leading tone, but when you use your natural minor scale, the 7th note is a whole step away from the note you started. So that's why it's called subtonic rather than the leading tone chord. Hello, Avi is back once again. Glad you have found us once again, Avi. I know you had some trouble with YouTube and unsubscribing you, which is really a bummer. I don't like when that happens. Dominant 5th chord, I mean. Okay, hold on a second. Let me go here. The 7th is the same, though, right? Dominant 5th chord, I mean. The 7th chord is the same, though, right? So the 7th chord is different because the 7th... Hey, Jonathan's back. How you doing, Jonathan? Not much with us. We're just having a Q&A here. If you have any questions about anything you want us to go over, feel free to leave it in the chat. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Matt has it right for the major scale. For the minor, it's going to be what I have written up here on the paper. And then, so the 7th chord is not the same. The 5, if you made it into a 7th chord, the difference would be instead of a 5-7, it would be a 5 minor 7th rather than a dominant 7th. Maple Leaf Rag video. That's right. So you were the one. I was talking about this in the last live stream. I will, if you don't mind, I would like to go over it during the live stream. Okay, Avi asks, what is a super chat? So a super chat is a new feature on YouTube, basically where you can basically give a shout out during the live stream, or basically put a comment that will be pinned to the top, depending on how much money you donate. So it's just like a totally optional thing that YouTube set up. So like when you're live streaming with somebody, you can actually, as like a tip jar, leave them, a couple of dollars, and then like I guess as a reward for doing that, they kind of pin your comment to the top of the live stream for a while, and that's what a super chat is. So it's I guess it's a super chat. You put your chat in there and it pins it to the top, but it's really just another way of like saying thanks if you have a couple extra dollars. So you're always welcome to leave a super chat. Of course you don't have to, but that is what that is about. I know it's kind of confusing because YouTube just kind of put it in and didn't explain much about it. Okay, that would be cool. You can show everybody what not to do by going over my mistakes. So that's the name of the game with this. I think we're gonna start doing more community, people performing in the community. I made a video. It was a live stream I did on Friday of my student Wolfgang, and you should check out that video because it's him playing the Prelude and Fugue in D minor, and it's really, really good. Okay, let's see here. So I remember you contacted me on Twitter, and by the way, whoever it was. Oh wait, let me check it out. So let me answer a few more questions. Nadia, hi, always missing you live. I finally caught you. Well, welcome to the live stream. I always love to see new and returning names, so you're always welcome back. What is a super chat? Okay, we got there one. So a chord progression in major, like 1-5-1, would work just as well in minor for a 1-5-1, but minor. Yep. Or do chord progression and properties change? No, it still works. So everything works the same. The only one that doesn't function exactly the same is the subtonic, because before, the seventh chord is usually, or the tonic usually precedes the seventh chord, almost always. But with the subtonic, because it doesn't have a leading tone in it, it doesn't really lead you. I mean, you can go to the tonic from the subtonic, but it just doesn't have the same pull to the tonic. But everything else, in terms of like doing 1-4-5-1, it's all the same in minor as well. Let's see. Hopak Trim says Erm. And Nadia says thank you. You're welcome, Nadia. Let's see. Avi Mild. Oh, so I guess that's what harmonic minor is for. Yes. I'm really glad you brought that up. That's exactly what harmonic minor is for, because harmonic minor, you're using the leading tone again. Actually, that also gives you the ability to do a leading tone chord in minor. So you can still do that in minor if you're using harmonic minor. It also gives you two options of 5 chord, because say you're in C minor again, and you get to your 5 chord. Well, the 5 chord, the middle note, is the subtonic note. So you can actually, if you use harmonic minor, you can actually have a major 5 chord as well. I thought that is a very important to point out. I'm glad you brought that up. Do you know what diatonic means? Yes. So diatonic means within the key. So say I'm in the key of C major, right? All white keys. Anything diatonic in C major is any of the white keys. Anything non-diatonic is anything in the black keys, just meaning that those notes don't really exist within that key. If you're in the key of G major, all these notes exist in the key because they have the key signature, G major, 1 sharp, F sharp, and that's how it works. You have a fact for me. So any of these would be diatonic, and then if you used an F natural, That would be non-diatonic. Let's see. Hopak Trim says, I have a fact for you. Okay. Feel free to share that with us. Do you see people playing with the white keys only? If they're playing in the key of C, yes. And then I would see them playing in the white keys only. I feel like this might be a joke or something. I'm not sure. I have a fact for you. Sure. So I'll just say sure for the answer for that. Okay, so I'm gonna look into Jonathan's recording here. So we're gonna take a little time to do that. Feel free to keep rolling them in. Yeah, they're playing perfectly in C. Yes. Yeah, so they're playing exactly in C. Now, you can play in C and have some of the notes outside of the key, but generally you're going to stick with the notes in the key, or A minor. Beginner here, I've been watching your video part 1 through 4 now. Very cool. Well, welcome Stray Cat. Glad to have you with us. That reminds me, City is not with us. We have a couple of regulars who are not with us tonight, but that's all right. Okay, we're going to, let me go to Twitter. So I can see what Donald Trump is saying. I'm just kidding. And the first post is about politics. Great. All right, so let me see here. Oh, somebody liked one of my videos. Let me see where this recording is again. Here it is. Okay, great. All right. Hey, Nadia. Yep, we are. Oh, yeah, Nadia. We are on every Sunday and every Friday. City is here. What up? How's it going, Monk Freak? How's everybody doing? All right, we are back again. So let me know if it cuts out. I'll try to get us back around to where it started to cut out. I apologize for that, although it wasn't my fault. It looks like I just had to restart my sound card for some weird reason. But let's play it off from where we were. So we're listening to Jonathan play the Maple Leaf Rag. Okay. All right, so a couple of things. The one is, it's going to sound kind of dumb, but your keyboard and the stand it's on, I've played on one of these keyboards before, the stands are a bit wobbly, right? So when you play, it kind of rocks back and forth. You can even see it in the video quite a bit. Some areas it's not bad, but some areas you can see it moves significantly. That could actually mess you up. So what I would do is, I see there's a bookshelf right behind it. I would move your piano back against a wall, or maybe even this bookshelf right here, just to kind of stabilize it so it's in one place. Because, you know, when you're playing a real piano, chances are it's not going to be moving back and forth, you know, even if just a little bit, you know, it could mess up, you know, contribute to some of the mistakes that you had. Now, another thing that I noticed, Jonathan, is that the beginning of the piece is a lot better than the end of the piece. The end of the piece is sounding good, but the tempo and the notes are definitely not as far along as it is in what you played in the beginning here. It's a lot more concise. You only missed like maybe a couple of things in the beginning. The mistakes really, I could see a ramp up towards the end. So what you want to do is obviously start from the final section, you know, where you stopped, and then work yourself backwards section by section. I mean, you don't play the music backwards, but you take the last section, play that, and play it a few times. And then take the next one before that and play that section a few times. So take that one and work your way back towards the beginning. And that will help make the end of the piece and the middle of the piece as good as the beginning, which is what you really want. In terms of tempo, it wasn't bad. The beginning was really, like I said, on point, I felt. And then I felt like any of the issues with tempo had to do with transitioning between sections that were different. And that's pretty normal. So what you want to do is you want to take the end of a section, and then, you know, anytime, especially if you're changing key or anything, you want to take the end of the section before it, or like the section in question, you take the end of the section before it and the beginning of that section, and you play that transition. You want to play transitions between sections, because that's where you're most likely to get off tempo. And that goes with anybody. If you want to look for problem areas and where you're practicing and where you're playing, it's almost always when the song is about to change sections. So whether it's a key change, or it's just a different section in terms of rhythm, or you're going, you know, playing a pop song, you're playing from, you know, the chorus to the verse or something like that, there's obviously going to be a shift in gears there in terms of the music you're playing, because it's almost like a little bit different of a song. I mean, obviously they're the same song, but you know what I mean. It's a different pattern that you have to get used to. So you want to practice not only the different sections, but you want to practice transitioning in between those sections as well. Okay, let's see here. Here comes the smackdown. The reason is shaking bad because, on a rolling chair. I have a proper, good. Okay, so if you have that fixed now, perfect. And I don't mean to bring down the hammer too hard. I do want to give you some helpful advice, though. So follow everything I gave you. You know, work your way from the end sections to the beginning, and then also work specifically the measures leading up to a section change, and then into that section change to get those little transitions as well. Is the middle pedal, the sostenuto pedal, I think, useful in any instance? I'm gonna be honest with you. I went to music school. In music school, I went there for 4.5 years. Never have any of my music professors told me to use the sostenuto pedal. It's probably useful when you have to do sostenuto, but honestly, you can kind of do that with your fingers. I mean, it's just holding down certain notes. And I know my teachers, except for the sustain pedal, didn't want us even using the soft pedal because they thought it was cheating. So I don't know what they felt about the sostenuto pedal because I really, they never really told me anything about it. Monk Freak says, "Thank you for all the time and energy you put in these videos. May the universe conspire to give you what you deserve." I hope you mean that in a good way. I'm sure you do. Thank you so much, Monk Freak. And you're always welcome to come back again. Always love to see you returning faces. Hopefully, City is still with us. Hopefully, we didn't lose too many people there. Avi is back. All right, great. We have Avi back. Perfect. Okay, glad you're back, Avi. Feel if you missed the critique I gave of the Maple Leaf Rag, we were just talking about how you should practice. Once you learn a song for a while, make sure to practice from like the last section backwards to the first section. Now you want to play the music from beginning to end, but you want to work on the last pages. When you first sit down to practice, you want to start with the end of the piece, that final section, and then work your way backwards instead of starting from the beginning all the time, because that makes your beginning really good, the middle weak, and then the end the weakest. So to kind of reverse that, you do that little strategy. So that's mainly what we were talking about there if you missed it. Nadia's back. Hello, Nadia. Glad you are back. Am I late? You are a little bit late coming back, but I'm not sure why. I know for a while it was like kind of frozen, and I think you had to refresh the page, but kind of strange. YouTube is doing some strange stuff today. City is back again. My piano keyboard stopped working like 3 days ago. No, really? I wish I could send you a new one. Somebody one time, I apologize, sir or madam, if you are listening. Somebody like one time insisted that I send them a keyboard. Like, just send them a keyboard. Like, not, like, I didn't understand. I couldn't do it because I just don't, if I do it for one person, I have to do it for everybody. Let's see. How do you play Chopin impromptu? Opus 66 with right hand fluently because it's hand movements and tempo. Do you have a special practice? Oh, that my student Wolfgang is learning one of those pieces, and that is an in-depth question, and mainly because first of all, I've actually never played that piece. I've played a lot of other Chopin pieces, mainly preludes and nocturnes and things like that, and yeah, so there, in terms of playing Chopin fluently, you want to break it down. I break it down measure by measure. A lot of the times he uses a lot of tuplets. So if you have maybe like a triplet in the left hand, you have like 7 notes, in the right hand. So you have to figure out how they match up. And I'm actually going to make a video on polyrhythm pretty soon. That's like a polyrhythm kind of thing. And and I think in another 2 weeks that lesson will be coming out. But I will not be talking specifically about that type of rhythm because that is really tricky. You definitely want to find a music teacher that can watch you play it, because I'd really have to see you play it, and then I'd really have to be familiar with the piece to get the runs right. A lot of it is just kind of doing it measure by measure and doing it very slow, lining up the notes. That was the Chopin Nocturne I played a few years ago. But unfortunately, I don't have a lot of this stuff concert ready anymore. I should really get back to that. I've mainly been teaching piano for the last 5 years. I do practice and play things, but I just don't have anything, concert ready like I used to. I used to have stuff concert ready all the time, memorized, fully learned, and things like that. So I wish I could be more help, but that's a pretty complicated thing, especially to do, not if I'm like right there in front of you. I've never played that one, Hopek. Stray Cat says, "Do it for me, cause I don't own one." Just kidding. Oh man, I wish I could send out more. Let's see. Fuddy Duddy says, "I'm glad you give us these lessons. You're very welcome. I'm glad I could help you learn for sure." Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I wish I could be more help. That would make a good lesson, like how to do Chopin runs, and I could do like maybe a few examples and a few songs. So I could write that down as a lesson idea. I do have the lessons kind of marked out for a while, but I certainly what are you kidding? Kidding me or what? All right, give me a second. Okay, so these are the lesson ideas that you guys helped me come up with that I'm still in the process of kind of like turning into lessons for you. So I'm going to write down like Chopin tuplet runs. And I'll see what I can do. That's really something I would have to think out ahead of time to give you proper advice on. All right, so we are doing, if anybody's just joining us, we're doing a Q&A here. So if you have any questions or any kind of lessons you would like to see, like our friend here just gave us a pretty good idea. Let's see which. Davdas, if I'm pronouncing your name right. I apologize if I'm not, which does happen from time to time. All right. Give me a second here, everybody. Okay, so any crawling in my skin? What's crawling in your skin, Hopak? There's something crawling. Lithuania. Okay, something like that. Sorry if I butcher your name. Davdas. I'm gonna call you Davdas or Davidas. See, I'm from an area where everybody's like named Tim or John or Joe. We don't have anybody with really interesting names. My life has no purpose without piano. No. City, how are we going to get you a new piano? Can you ask your parents? Can you ask anybody you know for a piano? Is there anybody you know who has one you can play on? Jonathan, same. Oh, it's oh, it's some lyrics from a song. Oh, I see. Crawling in my skin. Oh, you're talking about are you talking about Linkin Park? Crawling in my skin. Is that the one you're talking about? I don't know the rest of the words. Yeah, I get it. I met a guy from Morocco whose name was Abu Dalamid. It was hard for me too at first. Linkin Park. All right, I got it. I figured it out eventually because I thought about the lyrics as a song. All right, we had a lot of fun tonight. We're still going to stick around here for a little while, but I really appreciate everybody really chipping in and being a part of the community. It's a lot of fun when we have these discussions and people are very involved. So I just really appreciate from everybody that comes here. Like if you're a regular or it's your first time by, I think it's really cool that we have this community together really helps me keep in my passion, like teaching music. Because if I just taught local students, which I do a lot, face to face, I think I might get bored with it after a while. But just seeing like the diverse group of people that I'm helping to learn how to play piano, and like getting, people sending me recordings to review, or I do like a couple Skype lessons, or I hear it from people in the comments. It's really, really, it really blows my mind. People like from all over the world. It's really something positive in my life, and I just want to tell you that. So I just wanted to thank everybody, for coming to these. We have them every Friday and Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're ever curious about, like what we're talking about or when we're meeting, you go to pianolessonsontheweb.com. Oh, I typed it in wrong again because I have it typed in wrong in the browser and it has it like remembered incorrectly. But if you go to pianolessonsontheweb.com and you click on community, and you can see what we're talking about and when we're meeting. We do take off once a month, so we're taking off, it looks like March 12th will be off, so just keep that in mind. But for the most part, Fridays and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, we got a lot of questions here. Let me scroll up here. Yep. I'm new to the group, but I used to play synth and rock bands. It added a special aspect to our music. Very cool. Have you heard of word replacement memes? Not really. I think I've heard of it, but I don't really know what they are. Appreciation gang. Now I'm picking up some classical from you. I am new to classical, but will try to learn it on my Roland DS61. Do you recommend another synth for a backup, especially analog? I don't recommend a lot of synths, to be honest with you. I have this Roland RD700. This is more of a stage piano than a synth. If you're looking to learn actual like piano technique, I recommend on getting a stage piano because it has more, weighted keys and things like that. A good synth, huh? An analog synth. Like obviously I want to say Chord or something like that. But I actually don't have any like actual synths. One with good piano sounds. Yeah. If I come across one, I'll let you know. What is the best way to learn the major scale and its numbers and chords associated with the key? Should I practice each scale first, then the numbers, then chords next? So what is the best way to learn the major scale and its numbers? You mean the finger numbers and chords associated with it. So what I would do, this is the best way to do it, is I would start with, first of all, getting a scales and arpeggios book is advised. You can find scales and arpeggios online, although they are harder to find these days. But if you go to Amazon or something of the like, and you can type in scales and arpeggios, hopefully understood. And this is the book that I have. And on the inside, they have a bunch of scales, going from C major to G major to D major, things like that. You want to start at C major, and what I would do is at first I would learn the scale. You want to learn the scale with the proper fingering right away. You want to learn it one octave first. And then I guess I would play all the chords in that key. Now with C, it's easy. You just play chords up the scale until you get there because there's no sharps or flats to worry about. But if you're like in the key of G, any chord you hit has to have that F sharp in it because that's in the key signature. So to make this easier, I would learn one of these a week, maybe one every 2 weeks, depending on how fast you learn, and just concentrate on that one scale. The proper fingering and everything. You want to do it hand separate first. Then hands together. And then once you get good at that, do it 2 octaves. At a decent speed, maybe like that. You don't have to go super fast right away. And then, like I said, just practice the chords of each key. So after I practice that, do that run through on that one scale for maybe a week or two. Then I'll add a scale each week. So then the next week I'll add G major. I'll learn, the notes of G major along with the proper fingering with each hand. Then obviously do them together. Then play the chords of the scale. Now keep in mind it'll take you longer to go through this than it does with me. And then each week that goes by, play the new scale you did for that week plus the old scale. Okay. No, not the finger numbers, but each scale has a number from 1 to 8. Remembering that C. Okay, I see. So, yeah, I would still do it the same way. I would pick one scale a week, like have a scale of the week. So the scale of the week this week is C, and then yeah, just play and look at and understand what the key of C really tells you, and that it doesn't have any sharps or flats. So, you just play from C, white key, all the way up to the next C. Then the next week do G. And just keep in mind that G, the next to last one, is, sharped. And then actually even say the numbers of the notes they are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're always going to begin with 1 and end on 8. The sound's gone again? Is the sound gone? Why do you only do one a week? I learned all the major scales in 5 minutes. So Jonathan can learn all of them in 5 minutes. The reason I say once a week is because I have a lot of students that wouldn't be able to learn them quite that fast. Now, they might be able to learn one a day. But the reason I say one a week is because if I learn all the keys in 1 week, I feel like I would get them mixed up a lot. Like, I feel like if I didn't spend a week on each one, I wouldn't, like after a while, if I learned them all at once, I would get confused, like, oh, is A the one with 2 sharps again? Is it the one with 3? I don't quite remember. For me, it would be really hard to do them in that short amount of time. But that's like a conservative kind of path. If you want to do it faster, maybe learn one a day, or one in a few, or all of them in a few minutes, if you're able to, then I recommend do that for sure. Okay, Nadia, is the sound gone, guys? Thank you. I'm back. Okay. Okay, good. I'm glad Nadia. We didn't lose Nadia. Let's see. Why do you do one each week? Okay. All right, but each scale has a number 1 to 8. Remember that 1 is C, 2 is D, etc. Yeah, so do one a week, and I recommend that based on what I said, in case you just joined us back again, is that you want to learn one scale a week. For me, this is how I would do it, because if I learn them all really quick, like Jonathan did, he did it really, really fast. Now, if he has that type of brain that can handle that, then that's perfect. But me, I would stick to one a week because, like I said, if I learn them all in 1 week or 1 day, my brain, I don't think, would really have the long-term memory to sort out which ones are which. I think I would start to get confused because you really want to know the keys like the back of your hand, where you barely even have to think about it anymore. You want it to just come out. Like the key A has 3 sharps, F, C, and G. Key of B has 5 sharps, F, C, G, D, and A. And then the key of, E minor has 1 sharp, F sharp. Things like that. You want to be as good as you can. What's the name of the program you use to highlight the keys in green for demonstration purposes? I've seen this in quite a few times on the internet. It's called Synthesia, and I do like a screen cut where I copy part of the screen and then I cut it down because the screen in Synthesia is really, really big. So I do that to fit it in the videos. It took me a while to figure that out, actually. Sounds doing fine. All right, perfect. Perfect. All right, everybody, we're in the last 10 minutes or so here. So if there's anything you're really pressing that you need to know, feel free to leave it in the comments. Give a thumbs up if you like today's lesson, even though it was a lot of discussion more than the written out lesson that I usually give. I do those on Friday. So if you're a newcomer here, generally what happens is on Friday I give like a main lesson, and then Sunday we have like a Q&A discussion where we can either talk about the lesson I did, but we just talk about things in general. It's just really for me to connect with you, the students, to figure out what you want to learn about, and to help you along with the questions that you have. Can I inject piano skills inside my brain? I'm not sure. I could try doing that, but I'm not sure how that would work out. I think that would be pretty complicated. So the answer is probably not, unless they have invented something where you can inject ideas. Okay, and then everybody who is here, if you aren't aware, after the live stream is over, I mentioned my website a few minutes ago, pianolessonsontheweb.com, and I still have it typed in wrong in my browser. So if you type in pianolessonsontheweb.com, it will come up with the proper one. Pianolessonsontheweb.com. I have a bunch of music courses that I made over there just to let you know about them. They have a lot of the same types of instructional videos we have here on YouTube, except it really will take you a lot further. So whether you're trying to brush up on the basics or learn a lot more than what you can on the YouTube in terms of like subject matter, but also it has a lot of reinforcing materials like printable sheet music examples, assignments, and a lot of other things that go above and beyond what the YouTube channel is. So just letting you know about it, pianolessonsontheweb.com. Feel free to check it out when you get a chance once the stream is over. Okay, let's see here. Speaking of a synesthesia, is it bad to use it to learn songs? I can read sheet music just fine, but I look at more complicated pieces, it is too much for me and I can't do it. But with synesthesia, I can learn much easier. You can learn a piece on synesthesia. However, don't make it a habit to learn pieces on synesthesia because you're not really learning anything. You're just learning kind of the patterns. With sheet music, you're actually processing the information. And once you get better and better and better and better at reading sheet music, then you can learn really, really complicated stuff a lot easier than you would even synesthesia. At least for me, with as much experience as I have, it would be a lot harder and longer for me to learn something on synesthesia than it would be on sheet music. Sheet music, you can also observe things like dynamics, articulations. Synesthesia, a lot of that is absent. I mean, you can see the notes are real tiny and then you'd be hitting them short and things like that, but you don't get as much information on how to play those notes. So while you can learn one or two songs with synesthesia, you have my blessing to do that. Don't make it a habit. In fact, I would avoid it altogether, but if you have to, one or two songs is okay. But I would certainly not make a habit out of it. You definitely want to do a lot more sight reading and a lot more music reading than you do with synesthesia. Okay, let's see here. City says same here, so same advice for you, City. How do you approach new song and play with both hands? The combination of playing, do you start separately? And if yes, probably yes, when you combine. Okay, so here is the thing. Probably yes, and when you do combine, till you play it blindfold or. So it depends. If you're a very beginner and you aren't good at processing notes very quick, then you'll have to learn it hand separate. There's no way around it, or it'll make it easier to learn it hand separate. But for me, I try to learn things hands together right away because that gives your brain more of a challenge. And the better you get at doing that, the better you'll be able to do it. I mean, you'll just be able to pick up music faster and faster with both hands right away, and you'll be able to pick out more of the details. It takes a long time to get there. Even still, there are sections and things that are very difficult, especially in Chopin, like you had mentioned. So like the Chopin Impromptu, there's a lot of sections that are very difficult, a lot of measures that are more difficult than others. So I would play those specific measures hand separate first, or if I'm struggling with the rhythm, I would play it hands separate, and then I play it hands together just to kind of break it down in my mind so I can process it a little bit easier. So overall, I try to learn things hands together, but every once in a while, I'll still break it up hands separate if it's something really difficult. Okay, let's see here. I learn both hands at the same time, but it's just easier for me. Yeah, that's how I approach it as well. How do you learn the difference in playing piano by left hand chords and right hand melody as opposed to playing by accompaniment? How do you learn the difference in playing piano? Well, left hand chords and right hand. Oh, I see. Because if you had just accompaniment, that would be just like the background chords. Well, I would start out just by playing traditional piano songs. So don't play. Wait a second. Let me get the rest of this. For a singer, I'm trying to accompany myself because I'm a vocalist. Okay, are you trying to accompany yourself with playing the melody that you're singing on top, or are you just trying to play the background chords and then you picking out the melody like in your head? Because obviously playing the melody while you sing would be a lot easier, but singing it out loud, which I'm not going to do. I'm a terrible singer, trust me. If I was singing out, just playing the chords and singing out loud, that would be a little bit tougher. So let me know which one you're going for. Fuddy Duddy says, I use the free YouTube downloader to download your lessons so I can use them offline since I will be offline way out in the wilderness before long with no internet. We'll also check your lessons at the website. Okay, great. So technically downloading my lessons, there is a YouTube. Oh, you use the name brand one. Okay, you're fine. You're fine. It's technically like a breach of terms of service if you download YouTube videos not without permission, but not, using something outside of their downloader or whatever it is. So you're fine. You're fine anyway, because I really don't have a problem with you downloading the lessons if you really need to use them. If you're not around on the internet and you still want to learn, that makes a lot of sense to me. So that's cool that you're able to do that. You'll also check out the website. Very cool. No melody, the background chords. Okay, that is. I would honestly start out with an easy piece. I don't know what kind of pieces you're singing, but I would maybe even start out with something like the Itsy Bitsy Spider, and just something like that. Let me see here what we can do. Or maybe like Happy Birthday. Oh wait, what am I doing here? I have I don't need to do that. Okay. So maybe find a version of Happy Birthday where it just has the chords written down. Or let's see here. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. So what you want to do, I'm really terrible at it. Obviously, you'll do a lot better than me. So what you would do is you'd find something like this. This is what I recommend you start out with. Something like this. Think of a easier song that everybody knows how to sing that you don't have to think about a whole lot, because that'll make it easier for you. Like the less you have to think about one or the other, the better. So what you want to do is instead of playing the top part of the song, you'll sing the top part of the song, but you'll play the chords below. So happy birthday to you, and then play the happy birthday to you, and then play the chords along with it. Like I said, especially since I am not used to singing in a long time. I know I'm terrible, but that's how you want to approach it. You want to play just the chords with the left hand, just as whole notes, while you sing the melody above, and that will get you used to singing up top while playing the chords below. It's difficult, and it takes a long time to get used to. Oh, so you sing jazz, R&B, pop professionally, so you will probably be able to sing the top melody no problem. So that's what I recommend you do. Step one, find an easy song that everybody knows how to play. You can sing it without even thinking about it, basically. And then you want to find out whatever the chords are for that song. maybe learn the chords separately first, and then whenever you're, then match up the chords with the melody that you're singing. Yikes! You're not going to jail, Fuddy Duddy. First of all, I'm not telling anybody. Actually, I didn't hear it in case YouTube is listening. I have no idea what's happening. But you are not going to jail. I think you'll be fine. Well, I have to go, unfortunately. See you later, Tim. And Stream. Oh, see you later, City. Thank you for stopping by once again. We're actually going to call it quits here in a couple of minutes. But thank you for coming by. As always, one of our new regulars. Okay, Nadia says, I heard left-hand bass and right-hand chords. Alpha says, I'm sorry. Sorry I'm watching the iHeartRadio Wars. That's okay. Welcome, Alpha. I thought I saw you earlier say that. Also, is it bad to play for muscle memory, or should you be actively thinking about the notes you're playing? Muscle memory is okay a little bit. It can actually help you a little bit, but you should be aware of the chords and the notes that are actually happening. Let's see. Followed, liked, and subscribed. Looking forward to your next live. All right. Thank you, Stray Cat. That actually rhymed pretty good. Followed, liked, and subscribed. Looking forward to your next live. Sort of rhymes. It's pretty good, though. All right. So, yep. So we will talk again on Friday if you can make it out to that one. And we're going to do part 2 of reading ledger lines. So I'm going to have some more tips for you to make a complete guide for everybody. Nadia says, same here. Thank you, Nadia. So hopefully that helped, Nadia. I will, if you come to one of the other streams, if you want me to elaborate more on there, maybe like let me think about it some more, or leave it in the comments. So when I post a recording to this, if you want to know more about it, just ask the question again in the comments, and I'll look up maybe some practice things to do to get good at accompanying yourself while you're singing. Great. Okay. Perfect. All right, everybody. I just want to say thanks for coming out. Let me thank everybody that came out today, or as many people as I can. So thank you, Nadia. Thank you, Stray Cat. City is back again. Thank you so much. Fuddy Duddy, you're not going to jail. I'm not sending you there anyway. So welcome back to the live stream. You're always welcome back. Alpha was again here with us again. Thank you, Alpha. Jonathan, thank you so much for letting us pick apart your Maple Leaf Rag. If anybody's interested in having me review their song on the live stream, let me know. And then we have Davidas. Thank you for coming along for the ride. Had a lot of great questions as well. And then let's see. I think I got mostly everybody. Monk Freak, thank you. Barbara, could you find electric keyboard secondhand? That's what I have. It's only 62 keys. Sorry, I missed that comment. That was a good suggestion there. Let's see here. Lincoln Park. Hopak Trim, thank you for coming once again. I think we might have lost you in the middle there. Avi, thanks for coming once again. Thank you so much, everybody. And I apologize if I forgot about anybody, but I think I got pretty much everybody. Yeah. So thanks everybody. Oh, Matt, thanks for coming out. The person with the Chinese characters as your name, I apologize, or Japanese. See, I don't even know. Looks Chinese to me, but I'm not sure. Korean? I'm not sure. I'm an idiot, as you can tell. So I always forget how to pronounce your name, but thank you for coming so much. True says, let's see. Manuel says, LOL. All right. So let's see. Yes, please, like a keyboard player plays for me. Okay. Great to see you again. See you later. Great to see you again, Jonathan. I'm going to your website now to check it out. Thank you. And Manuel, thank you for coming and saying LOL once again. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night and have a great week, and I'll talk to you again on Friday. This has been Tim from Lessons on the Web. Have a great one, and I'll check you in the next lesson.